One, Alex here with hopefully this time for realsies the finale to Code Vein. I tried my best to beat the game last night, but it just went on too long, and I was only able to do a certain amount, and that was to get to the attendant of the relics and beat her, which was not so much a boss fight as much as it was a mercy killing. And I got all the vestiges. I don't know if I really got all the depth dungeons though, because I could have sworn there was a trophy for that, but so far nothing's happened. And we had to fight, the double boss again 3 times. One time each of them separate, and then of course we fought him again. And the game developers actually threw in a new trick where one of them, if should they survive the fight long enough, absorbs the power of the slain one, which gave me a bit of Agni and Rudra Devil May Cry 3 vibes, which is always a good thing. So I can't really complain about them throwing a little wrench here. That makes it a bit more challenging, but without a terribly frustrating way. Well, except for the fire tornadoes and such. So anyway, we made it to the very end of the dungeon, leading up to Silva. And yeah, I have no idea how this is gonna go. I'm expecting him to be a giant monster of some kind. And hopefully it'll be something. I just noticed something. You see that picture right there? Right in the back right there? That's a freaking dinosaur skeleton. That's a freaking dinosaur skull right there. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, look at this. That's not a deer skull with antlers. No, look at that. That's a Pachycephalosaur dinosaur skull. Right there. It looks like Draco Rex or whatever it is. There's another skeleton up top right there. Can't tell if it's a dinosaur or a mammal of some kind. Anyway, so yeah, we gotta go to Silva, investigate the government sector. Come to think of it, is there any other pictures and Easter eggs I didn't notice? Nice grandfather clock. I like those. Building with tall lighthouse looking building with birds surround it. A shame we can't play the piano. That would have been nice. A very detailed piano. Look at that, it has every chord on it. Seriously, it's a frickin' Pachycephalosaur picture right there. For what purpose, I don't know, but someone's a dinosaur fan in this base. So yeah, I really like the home base. It doesn't really have much to do, but it is a cool layout all the same. Like, yeah, I would live here. I mean, I'm Jewish, so I technically don't go to church or anything, but if I could reformat an old abandoned cathedral into a living space, I totally would. And make the basement into a game room. That's what I would do. Yeah. Imagine all this, but with shelves and filled to the brim with various movies and games and anime, and of course various cabinets of games. You know, like Lost World and whatnot. That would be my dream house right there. And of course the hot tub over there. Anyway. So yeah. Did not get any presents, right? Nope, just old world materials. I don't need to give him much of anything anymore, really. I mean, I didn't get Mia or Eva's weapons, but in truth, I'm not really a Bayonette person to begin with, so I'll leave it as is. And we did, in fact, 100% the provisional government sector, so if there's another depth dungeon map somewhere, I have not found it yet, which is funny since now that I think back on it, the memory level was counted as 100%, yet I go back there and there's a random object sitting there. So yeah, is it 100% in terms of the whole level explored, or 100% in terms of everything picked up on top of the level explored? I don't know, because honestly, if it were the latter, this would logically, you would assume, go from 100 to like maybe 99% or something, or 95, because if something shows up and you haven't gotten it yet, you'd logically think that would be the case, right? But yeah, like how in Mass Effect, when new stuff would show up, the percentage of the star system would adjust accordingly. But whatever. So yeah, connecting bridge. The amount of missiles just got lower and lower as the game went on. It increased for a while, but then lowered. After the cathedral, everything just kind of went. Okay, and unfortunately, we gotta make our way back to the elevator.
Heading there now.
Which is unfortunately a pretty long way. And I'm dead because of bullshit. Seriously, why is there no missile near the elevator? It would make things so much easier.
Good morning.
Morning to you too, darling. And I'm dead again. Or not. Well, she got killed, so I gotta go back to the damnable missile. We're off to a bad start. Why does this exist? Fucking why? I really don't like how they're able to summon enemies on a whim. These ones with the frickin' masks on them.
That's better, isn't it?
Kill them. Don't wake up. Probably should have done that before, but I I tried to rush it. And of course the ones that are high up get revived anyway.
There.
Okay, we good?
We can certainly use this.
Wait a minute. Argent Wolf Brand. We got the Sunset Greatsword, but we don't have the normal version of this, because this looks like a rusted out piece of shit. I mean, just look at it. Ugh.
Please don't do anything you might regret.
Argent Wolf Brand. Now this looks like a cool sword. It does. It's too late to do anything about it, though. Strength C+. Has a lot of strength power. But look at that. Mito sword has like a lot of weight, but huge power increase. I would love to use it, but it's a little too late in the game, honestly. I love how it says it's a chain blade, but it doesn't really use that at all.
How shall we proceed?
Yeah. Where do we go from here? This is where we fought the attendant.
I'll be there soon. Is that love?
Okay.
That elevator leads to our destination.
Yes, it does. Okay. So we ended up finding one of the swords that I wanted, even if a little too late. Well, almost. The Queen Slayer Great Sword. I have not found that one at all in the game. It's like somewhere. I also got a lot of weapons I can sell. Too late now.
I know you can do it. I've been waiting for you. Please.
Just
spin
double
that
check.
memory
Yup.
for me.
Did all the messages. Yeah, found the Argent. Have not found the Queen's Slayer version of this. And yeah, I mean, the not good. I mean, the other swords have better strength, but I might as well go with what I have right now, since I put so much time and effort into it, and the others are heavy, and the other weapons are heavier. I'm not sure if that's rectified from leveling them up or not. Probably. Okay, it's gonna be the back door of the. It's gonna be the front or the back of the elevator. I love how the cloak and hair just flows upward. Like, how fast is the elevator really going? That's funny. Apparently, gravity is about the at the level of the moon or something. Oh. Another attendant. Several attendants. They all look battered and bruised. Like, what's happening?
I cannot understand. The actions you've chosen to take, they can bring nothing but further disaster to this land. I cannot allow that mistake to repeat itself a second time. Stand by their side and attend to them. That is enough. It is the duty with which we have all been entrusted. If you lose your way, if you take one false step, it will lead to that same result. That's not true. Yes, as attendants, it may be that we were all born from Cruz's weakness. But we are not all identical to one another. Our experiences are unique.
Yup.
Through our journeys, I have experienced the memories of so many different people. I have witnessed the passion with which they lived their lives. And what I've found for every single one of those people is that they fought as hard as they could to survive. They pushed themselves for the sake of others to keep living. It didn't matter if they had lived as a human or if they had lived as a revenant. They still struggled on. It was the same for the successors, just as it was for so many of our poor sisters. I do not wish to cling to a futile mission out of fear and let myself stand by, hoping for a peaceful ending. I will struggle. I will fight. Against Cruz's sin, and against my duty.
That's part of what it means to be complete, or that's part of what it means to be alive. They don't seem like a wrong answer. I'll go with the alive.
What it means to be alive. Io, it's true. There does seem to be something different within you. Something that sets you apart from the other attendants. Very well. I bequeath all to you. And so, I beg of you, please, save everyone.
Is that the... Aw, they're all going bye-bye. Boo!
Shall we try opening it?
Well, hopefully there's a I hope there's a mistle in there, because I do not want to go down the elevator again and again.
Together.
Yep. Opens the door.
Let's move.
Gowl of the stagnant blood. Oh, there's blood everywhere. In the water, in the air. That's what all the veins...
There's a lake of blood below. Watch your step.
Seriously, this looks like the golden throne from Warhammer combined with the one from the Queeloth throne that Virgil sat on in Devil May Cry 5. You know what's funny? I get a lot of Emperor of Man vibes from this place, because it's like, you know, the Emperor, he has to sit on the golden throne to maintain the Astronomicon and keep the demons out of real space. And then you have this Silva here, who sits on that chair in order to, my asthma manager, who sits on that throne to keep the red mist up as a barrier, even though it doesn't give the purpose of guiding humans across the stars like the Astronomicon does. It does keep the monsters out, which is something that is true. And, yep, missile right there. So I'm getting a bit of Warhammer in there too. On top of DMC5, strangely enough. So what Spore of Madness has Silva turned into? Well, before a guard dog has to be put down. Eee. You know, I thought we were fighting vampires, not werewolves. Okay. More like a walking three-headed hellhound. I guess he lives up to the name.
Give it all you've got.
Uh-oh.
You have my thanks.
The Skull King, huh? Back off. So it doesn't hurt me. And I can recharge. Frickin' blood mist. Back off. Oh no, he's doing the thing. Shit. Okay, now he can do anime sword magic. Cool. Get away from him so I can get my stamina back. I wanted to do... Oh no. My fault. I didn't move in time and I didn't help her in time. He doesn't seem terribly hard. Just need to react better to him.
Think back on our experiences.
Yeah, he doesn't seem terribly annoying. He seems very readable. It's just I need to react better.
Let us do this. Searching.
Get out of there. Dodge. Help her out. I can only... Shit.
Not a good time.
Revive me. Ah! No! Shit.
I was waiting for you.
It's that, yeah, it's that tornado move that he does that,
We may need to adopt a new strategy.
yeah. It's that tornado move that he does that that fucks me up.
I'll make good use of this.
Away from him. What's that? Get my credits. Ah, reacted too late. Shit. Shit. Okay, don't know that move. Oh, the tornado. I can never remember that. Oh no. Shit. I almost had him. Almost had him that time.
Are you feeling all right?
I can do it. It's just I need to pay close attention. Okay, so he does get some new moves as he gets closer to death. So
It's wise to be prepared.
wait for that.
I shall maximize my efforts.
Tornado. One, two, three moves. Ah, didn't see it in time. Damn it. Couldn't get out of it. Damn it. It goes in a wide arc, so I can't... I have to, like, be very, very much behind him. Because in the second stage of the fight, he starts adopting wide swing attacks.
As long
And
as
it's-
you're still standing, I shall never give up.
And they hit very hard, so it's...
It's wise to be prepared.
I might have to do the spear, I don't know. I thought I got away from that, but okay. I knew he was gonna do it. Come on, revive me. I couldn't get out of there in time. Revive me. Thank you. Shit. I couldn't find it. got him. Argent Wolf Kingsblade. Skull King trophy. Woo! That's a good fight. Challenging, but fair. I like him. Gnarly design, too. Sorry, Silva. Yeesh.
No. Silva has lost control of the relic.
What's wrong?
Silva is pulling in the relics.
That is not good. What, did he frenzy too fast? What am I looking at? Okay, then.
No, I refuse to let the world end here.
Yay, she talks.
I will stop this!
My character talks. Oh, crap. We gotta fight this big xenomorph-looking thing. So if I did not save any of the other successors, would this have happened or not? The Virgin Born. Ah, the hitbox. Oh. I feel like I'm fighting Monster Hunter all of a sudden. An ice beam. Okay, whenever he starts glowing, run away. No. Whenever I get into an attack, I can't move. I can't stop it. What is he doing? It's the freaking Queen spikes. Oh no. I can never get away from that for whatever reason. Okay, she didn't revive me. Okay then, I guess I have to be behind the damn thing.
Are you feeling all right?
No, I feel like I got the wind knocked out of me. What the hell are we fighting? It's like those freaking... I don't know what I'm looking at.
I will
Like-
provide support.
Like, what is this? I mean, it's both cool and freaky at the same time.
Newfound strength.
Okay, so go behind him. I feel like I'm fighting something from Monster Hunter.
I shall maximize my efforts.
What? Get away from the area attack. And I fell prey to a basic as fuck wide attack. Yeah, I gotta be behind him. I really got
I was
to.
waiting for you.
And definitely to know when to not attack so I don't get caught in his giant purple death dome.
We will seek out and find our victory. I'll make good use of this.
So he can shoot ice beams, he can shoot giant swords out of his arms. I want my haze back, you silly game. Thank you. You can also do that, which is also not good.
Not a good time.
Okay, avoid the spikes.
Leave this to me.
Oh good, made it out of there. Away from the dome. Or whatever he's doing. Okay, he's firing gravity beam balls of some kind. Okay, so we can hit him out of it. But I don't really recommend doing that. Okay, so we can get out of it by being behind him. Okay, almost. Get out of the dome, get out of the dome. Ah, that's the beam that I'm worried about. I got partially out of it. Out of the beam, out of the beam, out of the beam. Heal me! Heal me! You fool! Heal me! Ah! I was so close. But I ran out of stamina and she wouldn't heal me. And I got hit by the damn purple arm blade thing. And fuck you, whoever downvoted me.
Defeat is not the end. Do not be afraid.
Ugh, I almost had him. Almost. Not impossible, just gotta be in this blind spot.
I'll make good use of this.
Unfortunately, his blind spot is right under him. Are you gonna revive me, EO, or are you just gonna stand there? Ugh. Yeah, this is a problem I have with the AI. Like, as good as it is with fighting when I demand it, it has a problem with sometimes just standing there, not even healing me, even when they have full health to do it. Like, it was a problem in the early game, and it's a problem now. Like, EO's better at it than the other ones are, but the fact that you saw that, right? She just stood there, didn't even bother. That's the issue I have with it. It's like they're good at everything but that. And it's, I mean, you know how I complained in Monster Hunter World how the cat would always heal you even when you didn't need it? Like, you'd eat a max potion, and yet he'd right on cue, he would bring a health pot anyway, even though you didn't need it. Well, I have the opposite effect with the teammates in Code Vein. It's like, you need the health to get revived, they have it, but they just stand there with their thumbs up their asses doing nothing about it. So, yeah.
It's wise to be prepared.
That's an issue I have. I tried to get out. Thought I could hit him out of it like before, but nope. I wasn't even near the hand. What the fuck? Okay, that just went up and robbed me. I should have defeated him, like, literally 10 minutes ago, but the game fucked me. So now I'm trying to get my groove back.
Good morning. It's wise to be prepared.
The Virgin Born. Like the Cauldron Born or something. Okay, so his back legs are not a weakness, because he's not getting damaged there. Would if I had time to do it. Tried to get out, didn't work. That area attack is bullshit. There's a lot of attacks he has, and like a quarter of them he shouldn't even have. Like, come on. Did he really have to have a bounce attack where he comes down and crushes you? Did he really need an iron dome that he brings down and forces you away? Like, come on. I mean, I could probably deal with all of those, but he has to have a freaking rain attack where he brings all the spikes and shit down on you. It's like, come on. They really made him overpowered. Even worse, his back end is not even weak. Like, I've hit at it several times, no damage at all. It's like the only hit point he has is his face and arms. Yeah, see that. Why did he need that? It's not even necessary. And his ass is not even a weak spot. And I just love how inconsistent the dome is, too. Like, even when you're like 1 centimeter from it, you get hit. And sometimes you don't. And it's like, why? What point does it serve? See? What a stupid attack. Like, I could be fine with everything. It's all about timing and getting out of the way. You know? I'm all for that. But why the dome? His dome and body slam attacks are stupidly overpowered and unnecessary. Like, I mean, why? I can understand. I can deal with the rain. I can deal with the attacks in the front you have to avoid. But why all of that? It just makes the fight tedious and goes on longer than it needs to. And I should have beat this 20 minutes ago, but he fucked me over. I would like to hit him, game. And the targeting is barely any help. Stupid attack. Yeah, it's his feet don't register any damage. It's like, what's the point? Look at that. Like, I was out of it, and it hits me anyway. That's why it sucks. And I'm out of stamina again. Meaning I can't run. This thing fucks me over again. Oh, it doesn't hurt me. You see what I mean? It's inconsistent as fuck. Inconsistent as fuck. Stupid attack that should not exist. I'm in it anyway, and it doesn't hit me anyway. Make up your mind. Okay, then. I'm just getting annoyed at this point. Like, it's not even fun anymore. Back legs don't even get hit, meaning what's the point? Yeah, look at that. It can target it, but what's even the point? It doesn't do any damage. How do you even get out of that one? I don't know. inconsistent. There he goes again. Like, how do you avoid that? I don't know. I tried to get away, wouldn't let me. Yellow. Okay, he's gonna do the thing. I avoided it somehow, don't know how. I just tried to be as under him as possible. Die! And fuck you. Ugh! That took a lot of effort. Turn to stone and crumble into ash.
We don't have a lot of time. Hey, kid, can you handle this?
Oh my lord, now that was a boss fight. Well, we don't even get to see the vision.
Hey! Huh? Ew.
We'll do it together.
In the end, no matter who I may be, even if I serve as little more than an empty vessel, you have stored so many precious memories inside of my heart, and I promise I will never allow them to fade away.
Aww.
Whatever happens, I will always be with you. Just as you will always be within my heart. And now, goodbye.
Aww. What's she doing? There go the relics. But they look purified. There's mine. There's Aurora's. Nicola. And Emily. And Karen. She's taking all of them. She's turning into more mistle trees. That is a massive blood bead.
Everything is now so clear. My purpose and why I stood by you like I did. So many around us are lost, wandering much like myself for so long, but no more. Now I found my destiny. To build a new world together, standing by through whatever's coming. Heal all your wounds and restore it all to how it should be. For the price that I pay may be high. I was made so I could protect you with my life.
The golden blood bead. What sorcery is this? It's Purdy. So, explanations? Okay, she took all the relics and turned into a giant mistle tree. But what about the bear here? We killed Silva. He's not giving it power anymore. So what now? Is this like, are these like gonna be like the path to surviving out there? I don't know. Yo. Now I'm really curious. I kind of want to look up what the other endings do. I know one's a bad one if you kill everyone. There's a neutral one if you only spare one of the successors. Home base. Okay. What just happened?
In the years after Io stopped the relics from frenzying and transformed into the Weeping Tree, Karen and the others discovered a reliable source of blood beads. And the question I've pondered for so long, what as a Revenant can I do? What about the outside world and the horrors there? We analyzed the signals intercepted from outside when the Red Mist appeared, there were countless cries for help. As revenants, we prey upon humanity. We might bring them nothing but misery. Even so, I can't just give up.
So it's been years later. Ah, would have liked a cutscene to show all that.
Years after Io...
I plan to start research with Karen that will hopefully lead to methods for controlling thirst and revenants. I don't know if we'll ever find an answer, but I'm sure it will lead to better lives in the Jail of the Mists. It would be nice if Louis could work with us.
And there's Karen.
We finally secured a steady supply of blood beads. Once again, we have Io to thank. On the day she took all of the relics, I was suddenly my old self again.
Yup.
And ever since then, she's been producing blood beads and even maintaining the Red Mist. So even if it's only a little, I want to make it so people can have normal lives in this world she's protecting for us. That's my wish.
Okay, so she's not... So she's doing double duty. Providing the Red Mist while maintaining it, while also providing the blood beads. Now here's another question. Will we ever get out of here? I mean, will the revenants and humans in here, inside the city, ever get powerful enough to go back outside? I don't know.
All the power was sucked right out of my body. I was so big and strong. But now look at me.
You'll just have to grow up normally,
Jack's
kid.
Training me to grow strong again. I don't see me as much as I used to, but I always feel close to her, even when we're apart.
What do you mean? She's right over there.
That's because we respect each other so much now. I miss her, but a knight has his duty.
Yeah, you're gonna have to grow up normally, kid. Like, what do you mean? Dude, she's right over here.
I've looked through documents from the Great Collapse, and the more I read, the more I understand why those creatures are called horrors. They're immune to even the most powerful weapons, and immortal like the loss that plagued the Jail of the Mists. Now I understand why revenants had to be created. The situation was that dire.
Jail,
And the
huh?
horrors are still roaming the outside world. It must be incredibly difficult living out there.
So, if there ever is a sequel, will it be about them going outside the city?
I've looked...
The relic's power created the Weeping Tree, thanks to Io's wish, and there's no sign of the Queen coming back. It must have taken a strong will. We're ordinary revenants without the power of the relics, but our mission still remains. As long as I live, I will continue to watch over that power, together with Jack.
There are no changes in the Weeping Tree. It's completely normal. Don't worry. If anything happens, I swear I'll do everything in my power to stop it. Meanwhile, it's time we both do what we need to. My mission as a Watcher has ended, but my duty to protect the world still remains. I won't allow the hell here to escape and torment those outside.
This garbage heap may just have become a slightly better garbage heap. That means people have less use for what I'm selling.
Aw.
I'm only joking. Don't worry about me. Do your thing, okay?
Yay.
Is that amber blood bead Io gave you all right? It's a piece of her memory and a manifestation of her strength. Handle it with care. Karen and the others say it's made of the same substance as the Weeping Tree Io gave us after taking on all the relics. It has the ability to alter the relic's influence, if only in a small way.
Yeah, 2. I need like 30 of these. A gold blood bead. Ishtar. I'm guessing I get the other styles from the final boss when I start up a new game.
The Lost are still a dire threat to the survival of humanity, but the new provisional government is at last on a course to stop them.
Yeah, who's leading it?
Silva is pushing reforms to aid as many revenants as possible.
Wait, what?
I can finally get to the job of exploring the depths in earnest. You've been a great help. I must thank you.
I thought we killed Silva.
I nearly forgot. I have a message for you. The provisional government would appreciate your cooperation. Please contact the government if you seek work with real meaning.
I'm confused. I thought we killed Silva. So, how's that possible?
Today I invited Yakumo to work for the provisional government, but he turned me down outright. Sorry, but just like you've got things you want to do, I've got things I want to do too. Yeah, he hasn't changed a bit. Well, I didn't want to work for them at first either. After a while of fighting to survive, I noticed I'd made a bunch of friends along the way. And here I am stuck with them. But I guess they're all pretty great, so I don't regret it at all.
That's cool. We get everyone
I'm
assembled.
glad to see that things have calmed down a bit here. Although Louie's worried again. Are the two of you ever satisfied? You finally earned some peace, so why not enjoy it? Well, whatever you choose, I'll go along with you. Do what you feel is right.
So, now what? Well, let's check the rest of the house, see if there's anything. And by house, I mean church. Aw, the mistl's gone. Wait a minute, what's this? Leave base? Do you want to leave the base and depart out of the red mist? You will be unable to return here. Does that mean I actually end the game? 'Cause that's what it sounds like. Okay, so Io used the relics to turn into a giant mistle tree, which is doing not only double duty of maintaining the mist, but also giving red beads. And I got all the vestiges, I'm pretty sure. Okay then. Let me look at my memory for record for a sec. You know, just want to keep and here comes Jailbait coming in to take a dip. Yeah, we've gone a long way from that first dungeon in the game. Here's the memory. Aurora. The blood beads. The Nicola. We went chasing after Jack, fought Emily, saved her, saved Eva, Mito. Yeah, look at that thing, frickin' monster. It looks like Santa Claus if he fucked a Manticore. Like, sheesh. Well, I don't particularly like the Virgin boss fight as much as I did the first one, but once I found out how to exploit its blind side, that's when it got better. Silva Frenzy's turning to the Queen. You win the hard battle against... Turned into the Queen, huh? Move to absorb the relics, maintain the red mist. Budding with blood beads and leaving a single amber blood bead as a farewell. Okay, so there's nothing else to do. I have to go leave the door. So it's kind of like a epilogue, you know, hey, here's the result of your hard work and all the people you've saved. So they're saying it's taken place a couple of years. Could have fooled me. Looks like it was just this afternoon. But I guess they're all Revenants, so they're all perpetually the same age. Although, whether Nicola's gonna grow up, I don't know. Well, seems to be it. Only thing that... And the Mistel's gone, so the only thing to do is just to go out the door. Let's see what's up. What do we get rewarded with? Because I'm not satisfied with just the flower cutscene. I want some like, you know, resolution. Thorns of Judgment. Got to find a way to get rid of those. What? She opened it.
You're leaving into the outside world? Yeah, I figured that's what you would do. I can't say I approve of you heading out alone, though.
At least say something before you go. After all, we're supposed to be friends, right?
Yeah, you spoke in that cutscene before. Oh no, what's going on?
And since you guys insist on charging ahead all the time, you're going to need someone to keep things running smoothly.
Just put a shirt on first before we go.
To be honest, I'm not sure how welcome Revenants will be in the outside world. But we have to keep reminding ourselves that we were all created for a reason. I'll carry on Cruz's dream. Just like you carried Eos. Let's go.
So they're all going out there.
Ew.
Okay, she said it like that for some reason. Alrighty then. Okay, for some reason it blocked a scene. Oh, it's blocking the credits? Really? Of all things to block in the game, they coded it to block the credits? What stupidity is this? Really? You know, I've complained about this with literally every game that's done this. If you weren't going to block 99% of the game, why did you even put in a block feature for certain things in the first place? You might as well just let it play, especially if it's just freaking credits. Well, since it blocks the credits anyway, and you can't hear anything except me, although the music is good. Alrighty then, so the 5 friends, well, 5 out of the, 7 or 8, go out into outside the red mist to try and make contact with the rest of humanity that's been cut off. Wouldn't that be funny if the freaking Manticore monster is just sitting there? They see it and it's like, and then it just pounces on them and they all die like that anyway. And, oh shit, why did we even leave? Well, obviously that didn't happen. Although, why did my character shout EO? Like, I would have understand just a short little mellow saying of it. Like, EO. Like in remembrance, but okay. What happened? Did something surprising happen? Well, whatever happens, happened. So I guess that leaves it off for the sequel. For if they ever do another one. You know, Code Vein 2, you know, resume. I think it would be much more fitting to continue the journey outside the fog, rather than just stay inside the city, because what's there to do? Like, unless the weeping missile or whatever, the weeping tree or whatever they call it, unless something goes wrong with that and another bad guy shows up, I don't see what more they can do with it in this environment. If you ask me, I think it would be much better to just follow the main characters and fight whatever comes their way and, you know, try to get in contact with everyone else. I think that's much more logical for them to continue the series if they decide to. Well, what are my thoughts on Code Vein? Well, let's get the obvious out of the way. It is very, for all intents and purposes, anime Dark Souls. Well, although really the closest I've played to that has been Bloodborne. However, I wouldn't say it's specifically that, because in terms of control scheme, it's more like Neo than Souls, because, you know, you got the face buttons instead of using the triggers. You only ever use the triggers just to set up, you know, your spells and buffs. And even though it's I wouldn't say the gameplay is anything special in comparison, it is still very robust. I like the different weapons and how some of them, even when they're technically the same class, actually play differently. Like the one sword I used for the last half of the game has like swipes, whereas other ones like the Black Blade actually comes down like a hammer instead of a slashing weapon. So even though there's like 5 classes of weapons, they all play differently depending on their build. So I like that. I like that there's an extra little bit of pseudo variety for them. And there's a lot of powers of which to master. I loved the buff powers where you could set your sword ablaze or with blood or with the lightning, you know. I love that. And you've got some good range spells too that you can use, so there's definitely a lot of options to play Code Vein. Me personally, I went out mostly as a as a melee brawler with swords and spears. Primarily great swords. That was what I ended up being most comfortable with. Enemy design, though, I like a lot of the enemies. Where I do kind of have problems is that a lot of them repeat themselves. I mean, in Bloodborne, you had a lot of the same. You had a lot of those generic villagers, but every area at least had a theme around them. You know what I mean? Like there was often differences to break it up, for the most part. So Neo kind of suffers the same way too in that regard, where you face a lot of the same skeleton warriors and Weedle monsters. Whereas in this, it's you've got your vampire stormtroopers with their gas masks, but but there is still, for at least for the most part, there is still some variety when you go into the different special areas. You went into the ice area, you had ice monsters, fire area, fire monsters, and there were some recycled enemies with different slight variations, but for the most part, I would say it's not bad variety. There's still good variety in the enemies. It's just you will see a lot of the same ground troops over and over again, which does get tiring, but you do see at least some variation depending on the environments. Hell, you saw a lot of those Cerberus stormtroopers as I went through the final dungeon. As for the boss fights, there's a very good, healthy amount of them. There really is. I am pleased to say that they do not repeat themselves nearly as much as Neo did. Thank you, Lord. That was my main problem with Neo. One of my main problems with it, like, you ended up fighting a lot of the same enemies, and because the game dragged itself on with how spiked it spiked its difficulty a lot, it made it overstay its welcome. Whereas Neo had a nice set amount that only repeated themselves when you did the depth dungeons, which are basically your little side area for extra stuff. So I appreciate that, and the bosses that are there, they're pretty good. They range from, of course, annoying, like the Butterfly of Delirium, who, being one of the first, is also one of the worst because of her god-awful poison debuffs. But then you have others that, while challenging, are still fair in that if you die, it's usually your fault. Like Silva, how he does those sword attacks, and you have to pay. He doesn't move super fast, but he does hit hard if you're not careful, and if you're not paying attention, you will get yourself killed. So there's a variety of bosses that all look very distinct from each other and play differently, with different means of putting them down. Although, of course, there are some frustrating ones, like how technically he's not a boss. At least he wasn't the second time I fought him. He was the first time. The freaking Berserker in the Cathedral of Sacred Blood. Oh, I hated him. Worst in the whole game, in my opinion. And of course, like Bloodborne, you got 3 different endings. Well, 4 if you got all the memories for EO, which I did. But all the same, true ending, good ending, I'm satisfied with that. Whereas with Bloodborne, I don't know. It's like I did not feel there was a definitive ending for Bloodborne. I'm guessing, yeah, the one where you become a god and whatnot is. It's just, you know, the way it's formatted, it never gave me the same feeling of, oh, that's how it is. Okay. Whereas this one I felt it did it better. You know, I do like the oh, look at that. Hades, code owner Gregorio Silva, boosts high attack base and strength and dexterity, ideal for using heavy gear. Hades. And Queen, code owner Queen, specializes in gifts and boosts in high Ichor stock, enabling you to overwhelm the enemy. Okay. Dweller in the Dark ending. Nice. You can now play using your post-completion save data. You can start the game again from just before the end by selecting your completed save data from the load option on the title screen. After starting the game again, you can examine the door back at your base to carry over your save data and restart the story from the beginning. Okay. So what? Continue new, you can just... Okay. Okay. Well, I don't want it to keep going into that anime intro, so I'm going to continue doing my review here. Hope you all can hear me from the music, despite the music. No, I didn't want to do that. Did not want to do that. Anyway, at least it'll make it quiet, I suppose. Well, so yeah, as I was saying, yeah, the bosses, they're good. Some hard ones, some frustrating ones, some rather easy ones, and some very, very fun ones. But for the most part, it's all good. The gameplay is solid and robust. Not original, but robust. The dungeons, for the most part, are pretty good, too. I like that there is still a good variety. There's a lot of... I will admit the art style does kind of make it a little repetitive due to all the spikes on the walls and shit. But the overall themes still carry through. Like the Howling Pit, the Trench, the Cathedral is not my personal favorite. I find it to be overly long. You got your fire area, your desert area, your ice area, so on and so forth. So there's good variety in the areas, if nothing else, and a lot of them do cleverly loop back into different points, which is all nice. And I do like that you get a little more extra backstory and that you're rewarded for doing it by, you go out and you keep a lookout and you're rewarded for your efforts with new codes and more backstory. And as for the story, I like the story. I wouldn't say it's the best I've seen, but it's a good one. It's a nice shonen anime story with vampire themes surrounding it. And I really like the overall aesthetic they gave it. Well, with the gas masks, the Dracula cape-like aesthetic for a lot of the blood veils. By the way, the blood veils are cool, and I hope they do more with those in another game. Like, don't just make them for parries and backstabs. Maybe do some more stuff with them. You know what I really would like to see for another Code Vein sequel, or just another hack and slash game and Souls game? Like dismemberments. Like Neo had those, but they were just on the enemy's death knell. It was never really a gameplay thing. It's like, I bring it up again, Ninja Gaiden 2. You hit enemies in certain body parts hard enough, they fly off and they fight differently, and you can put them down in an ultimate technique. I've never seen another game do that, ever. It's like, come on, with Doom and Doom Eternal, you can like shoot their bodies into pieces. Hell, Eternal, they're going even further with that. So it's like, I want to see more of that. Hell, Dead Space and what was that other one? Eternal Darkness. You know, taking off body parts was a thing. Surge 2 did that recently too, but not to the bloody whirlwind extent that Ninja Gaiden 2 did. Like you've seen me play it. Like there's blood spewing all over the walls. Like entire pints of it. Like, come on. If I swing a giant fuck-off Buster Sword at a guy from head to groin, I want to be able to see his freaking blood type on top of his body exploding from being severed in two. Like, that would make it even more thrilling. So yeah, it's a good shonen anime story, and I really like it. It's well paced. It does feel a little discombobulated from time to time, but you do get a decent grasp on how the world works through exposition and whatnot. And you have a pretty good, well-rounded cast. I like Yakumo. I like Louis, Mia, and Jack, and all the others. EO too. Some do get the short end of the stick, though, unless you went and got their vestiges, which I did. Like, unless you bothered with the depth dungeons and found any of Davis's vestiges, he's just gonna be there standing there, and you'll be like, what's his story? So, the game rewards you for going out and doing all that, at the very least. I will say, though, I do think some characters have their arcs a little, cut short in different times. Like, Louis had a big story arc throughout the first third of the game, especially when he's telling you how he feels responsible for the queen going rampant, and then you eventually find Karen in the cathedral. You don't really get much out of him either. And then the rest of the story is pretty much, you know, with Jack and Mia finding their lost family and friends. So I do think there could have been a little more consistency as far as character arcs are concerned. You know what I mean? Like, they do get arcs. They really do, and I appreciate that. I just feel some of them kind of come and go. You know what I mean? I did like the twist of Jack starting off seemingly as the villain, but then you learn, nope, he's the good guy, and you gotta deal with this Astaroth-looking guy from Soul Calibur as the main villain. So it's a cool little switch, because you're used to seeing his kind of character type being the bad guy. But no, he's really the good guy. So yeah, decent story that's pretty well decently told. It does kind of put you through the ringer a bit with all the exposition and whatnot, but it's not impossible to understand. It certainly gives you enough to work with. And I really love the art style. Like I said, I like this. The way everything looks. I mean, again, the Judgment Thorns that permeate the game do kind of make it seem repetitious at times, but it still looks good. And the customization for the character is pretty good too. Like, I do not often see games where they allow you to either do short hair or long flowing hair like I've had throughout most of my time with it. Like, you'll rarely ever see that. Usually it's just short hair with at best being shoulder length. Like, come on, go more with the hairs. Make them as long as this. And yeah, the whole mask and the whole Dracula looking aesthetic with the capes I really love too. And of course, there's some different style variations here and there. So yeah, decent story, robust gameplay with a lot of things they can do moving forward to make it better. Decent weapon variety, although I do question why we don't get summon sword and shields, but the enemies do. I was also kind of wondering where my... Like, come on, I want double swords. Give me double swords. But it's okay. The great swords and whatnot were great. So, like I said, should they do a sequel, I hope that they expand on that and improve on that a lot more. Oh, and by the way, for those who missed it, freaking Pachycephalosaurus skull right there on the right. See where I'm standing? Actually, no, it looks more like a Draco Rex skull, like relative. I don't know which, but yeah, that's a dinosaur skull right there on that picture. So somebody in here is a paleontology fanatic, or unless it's just a reference, and unless it's just meaningless stuff that they put there. I don't know. I just found it funny. Soundtrack is pretty good too. It's not one of the biggest soundtracks I've ever heard. It's about, there's like a good maybe 10 discernible music tracks that I was able to identify, unless I'm wrong. But it's a serviceable a soundtrack, if anything. And I do love me some good old organ. Kind of gave me some Castlevania vibes. So yeah. And really the only other issues I have with the game is that some of the frame rate and kind of dips when you go into these loading areas where you go from one dungeon to the next, and it starts to get choppy. Like, I mean, it doesn't hurt the game, but it is kind of like, you know, it's like I say, next gen, ladies and gentlemen. So the game is not broken under any discernible respect. It's just something that kind of comes and goes. And yeah, can't really say there's anything I can call as an issue, really. Just needs a bit more flair to the gameplay, and we'll be really getting somewhere. So hopefully with the sequel, they add some things, improve some things, give it a bit more of its own identity. And I do look forward that should they do a sequel that we see more of it. I would like to see what they can do now that they've since the studio that Bandai got to make this game, they clearly know how to implement a Dark Souls style hack and slash RPG well. Now they just gotta spread their wings a little more and do more with the gameplay, because you've already got the awesome art style to go with it and the characters to go with it. Just needs a little more, and then you'll have your even more specialized game in a sea of Dark Souls clones at this point. I mean, remember Lords of the Fallen? Pretty much everyone complained about that one for whatever reason. So yeah, good length game, good graphics, some issues here and there, but nothing that they can't improve in a second game. At least I hope so. And I've really enjoyed my time with Code Vein. It's not super short, but it definitely does not overstay its welcome as much as others do. So it's definitely one that I can recommend. If you want more anime style hack and slash games, you'll like this game. If you like customizing your own waifu or husband and going and dressing up like a Ghost in the Shell crossed with Castlevania cosplay, you'll like this game. And even if you're not a Souls person, while it did kick my ass a good chunk throughout the game, I would say this is the closest I think anyone's ever gonna get to a Neo, Bloodborne, Dark Souls types game that is a bit more, and I hate to use the word, casualized, because unlike those games, you have the option, although it is I very much advise it, taking a second character with you, so that way you can get a better handle on the game. In a way, it's kind of like the game throwing you a bone, saying, yeah, in case of frustration, here's an AI character. And also, now I just remember, the AI is not too bad. I was very, very, very worried that they would screw it up. Like, the AI would just go and do shit all on its own, and would just screw everything up. Like, you'd be trying to do a backstab, but they would attack anyway and ruin everything and draw attention to all the enemies to you. Like, no, they didn't screw it up. They actually managed to make a decent AI, companion AI for the game, where they do not do anything unless you do. Like, they'll buff you and buff themselves. Like, they'll buff themselves and whatnot and give you a hand, but unless you attack first, they're not gonna do anything. So, good job to whoever did that. Although they do have an issue with reviving. I chalk that mostly to them getting attacked, but there were a few moments where they would have full health and they'd just be standing there not even doing anything. So as far as the giving me back, reviving me is concerned, that's pretty much the only discernible flaw I have with the AI companions. Sometimes they heal me, sometimes they don't. Mostly they try to, but there are a very few occasions where they're just standing there, and it's like, come on, what are you doing? But they mostly behave, so I'm very surprised and happy that they are as good as they are, despite this being the first game of its type that Bandai has attempted, or at least the studio they hired to do it. So yeah, there is definitely, yeah, that's really the only other thing I can think of, really, unless I'm forgetting something else. Let me think. Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, the art style's fine. The AI's mostly fine. Oh yeah, parrying. I did kind of have issues with parrying. I mostly resorted to backstabs, but depending on what blood veil you have, it can either be it's fine. So yeah. Yeah, other than some AI reviving inconsistencies and some character arcs kind of stopping and going as the game goes along, and some enemy repetitiveness, and of course the spikes making everything look almost samey at some points. I have very little complaints with the game. Like I said, combat's robust, enemy variety when it's there is good. The characters are fleshed out and have backstories. I really like the arc style, although some characters, like Rin over here, look like jail bait. Oh yeah, if this were a live action game, we would all be thrown in jail right about now. Anyway, and yeah, customization's mostly good. I see nothing other than a few blemishes. I see nothing but a promising, hopeful start to another series that I hope they do more with, and that they touch up and add some things. I would like to see some more dismemberment and some more unique into itself gameplay. Other than that, I can't think of anything. So yeah, I've really enjoyed the game, had a lot of fun with it. I don't know what I want to play next though. I mean, I have Horizon Zero Dawn on my shelf, the complete version. I've got Gravity Rush 2, but I really want to play get the first one in order to play that for context. I don't know really. I have to sleep on it for a while. Yes. I think I got Dragon's Crown Pro around here as well. I don't know. I need to think about what I want to do. Either that or I'll take a break. So, yeah. Solid game, solid story, solid graphics, solid a lot of things. And, yeah. I do recommend the... Oh, yeah, as I was saying, yeah, this is probably the easiest Dark Souls style game I've played yet. I mean, if you thought Bloodborne and Nioh were too much for you, I think you'll be fine with Code Vein. It's not terribly difficult, but it does have some head-scratching moments, especially by the end. So it's not that easy. You still have moments where it will kick you to the curb if you're not careful, or if the level design doesn't fuck you up. So I think this is probably the easiest you'll ever get to one, especially since you get characters that can go along with you. And yeah, even if it's not a Dark Souls style game, I really would like to see more anime style hack and slash games like this, or Devil May Cry, or Ninja Gaiden. God, I miss Ninja Gaiden. Because, yeah, I'd rather not see every anime-style game that ever comes out be either turn-based RPG or Dynasty Warriors. Especially not Dynasty Warriors, because that's, to me, is the cheapest of the cheap. Ugh. So, yeah, not much more to say. Really liked the game. I see a hopeful future for it if they make another one. And I would definitely go back and play it again on my lonesome. And hell, I do think it's possible to platinum the game. I kind of want to, actually. Although I question where...
Honestly,
where some things are.
Just tell me where we're going.
Yeah. I could have sworn there was a trophy for doing all the depth dungeons. I'll double check. I don't recall seeing anything. And there is one trophy where you have to get, like, rank 30 in reputation, but it involves these ranks of honor, Medal of Honor things, or ranks of honor.
Please,
but it takes, like, a stupidly long time to do those, so I may just, do co-op with somebody to do that. Other than that, yeah. Hell, I got the good true ending, and I ended up getting all of the codes, so honestly, I really don't see any point in doing another playthrough. Like, I went back and forth in Bloodborne to get all the endings because of how different they were, and they were all vague enough to the point where you could interpret them in different ways, whereas this has a very solid true ending. So I'm just gonna leave the game as it is. I don't think I'm gonna bother with trying to grind 2 more times to get to worse endings that may ultimately lead to nowhere in a grander scheme of things. So I think that's about it. So yeah, Code Vein. I like it. Recommend it. Will definitely play it again on my lonesome. So hope we get another one at some point soon. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed me blabbering and getting killed and of course succeeding. And I'll take a rest for the rest of the evening, and when I come back, I'll hopefully have made up my mind of what I want to do next. So yeah, good job, Bandai, and whoever you got to make the game, and I hope you do another one and improve where it needs improving and just going with where it works. So anyway, thank y'all for watching, and yeah, got nothing else. Have a good one, and see y'all on the other side. Peace, like, share, subscribe, and so on and so forth. You all know the rest.